Hey everybody, welcome back to True North VR. Today we are doing a head-to-head comparison video. We're looking at the Bobovr S3 Pro battery head strap and the KKCOBVR Q3 Pro head strap. In this one, we will compare the specs. I'll do a try-on of each. We'll talk about flexibility and adjustments. We'll talk about battery life. We'll talk about price point, all that kind of stuff to see which one of these is going to be a better pick for you. I will link below in the description where you can find each of them, and I'll also link the individual unboxing and assembly of videos of each as well. If you haven't checked out my other VR accessory reviews, I'll link that playlist for you as well. Let's jump into this one. Alright, if we do a quick comparison of the specs here, they're obviously both compatible with the MetaQuest 3 and 3S. They both have the exact same battery capacity, 10,000 mAh, and they are both hot swappable. Interestingly enough, the battery life on the Bobovr website says 3 to 4 hours, or less if you're using the fan, but the Q3 Pro says 2 to 3 hours according to the website. For me, it was more around that 3-hour mark, and to be honest, with the Bobo one, it's going to be more around the 3-hour mark than the 4-hour mark. 4 hours is stretching it if you're just doing very minimal things on it. Charging power for the Q3 Pro, I couldn't find the actual wattage in the user manual or on their website, but it did give a charging time of 1.5 hours to charge your headset from the battery, but the battery from 0 to full charge was about 3.5 hours. Your charging watts for the Bobo one is 20 watts, so does say it has fast charging capabilities. Weight, we got 460 grams for the Q3 Pro and 550 for the S3 Pro, and we're going to look more specifically at the weight right here next. So I do have my own little scale here at home, so I thought I'd put them on. Mine came up for the Q3 Pro at 464 grams and the Bobovr S3 Pro at 556 grams. So we're looking at pretty much 100 grams difference there, which might not sound like a lot, but it actually is noticeable, and it is something that I didn't really like about the S3 Pro, is that it is much, much heavier. And so that's something that will be taken into consideration when I'm giving my final thoughts. Alright, so let's do a try on with each of these just to show you what they look like. So we got our knob on the back. You can twist counterclockwise and then twist clockwise to tighten that up again. There we go. Loosen it. It easily tilts right off. Same kind of idea here. We got our knob on the back. Tighten that up. Easy as that, all right? All right, let's talk about adjustability between the two here. So for our KKCOBVR, it's a tongue twister sometimes. Again, we have that back knob that we can use to adjust it. Our back pad flexes a little bit there, not a whole lot. Our first pivot point though is right here. And as you saw, to put it on and take it off, that makes it really easy. And it makes it really easy to adjust where you want that back pad to be on your head. Whether you want it to be higher or lower, that makes it very adjustable there. Now we do have this pivot point here as well, and you could hear it click. So this is more of a stiff one, and so that's going to adjust how tilted our face plate is there, or I should say our forehead plate, if anything. Now I do have these straps a little bit tight here, so I'm just going to loosen these just slightly there, because that makes it easier to adjust that as you go. Then we do have right here a nice little knob. I'm actually just going to put it on here just to show you. If I twist these, try to make it so you can see here, it'll slide the actual Quest further out. There we go, I think you can see it good there, and closer in, and it clicks so it locks in as you go. That's really nice actually, because you can really make it to be the distance that you want it to be. Whether you want it to really sit off your face, whether you want it to just be barely touching your face, or whether you want it to be a little bit tighter, almost more like an elite strap style. You can adjust that fully with that spot. So I really do like that on this one. And then of course we have the Quest's arms can pivot there as well. On our top straps, we have two top straps. This first one here attaches into our Quest there, and I found it most useful when I would have these arms extended out, so it was really hovering in front of my face, and then this strap could hold it level instead of having it kind of sloop down like some other Halo straps do that I have noticed. So that is nice there. And then we have our top black strap here that is just used to help balance between the front and the back on the top of your head, and it's nice and padded there as well. So there's our adjustability for that one here. Now if we grab the S3 Pro, again we have our knob on the back. Our back pad is flexible there as well, so it's going to form to the back of your head. Our first pivot points are in about the same spot here. Again, that's going to be able to help you figure out where on the back of your head you want it, and also make it easy to take on and off. So a little dual use there for those. Little pads here can move up and down, or you can take them right out as well. There's not a pivot point right here where it attaches. It's down here, and you'll be able to hear it as well. I'll pop the facial interface off a little bit. You can move that up and down. Depending on how big your facial interface is going to depend on how high or low you want that. This one's notorious for not working with some of the larger facial interfaces. Like I have one that uses high blocks. This one here has a fan attachment here. It doesn't work very well with this because it gets in the way. And then our pieces here do slide, so you can slide them forward and back. It doesn't lock into place like it does on the other one, but you can slide back and forth, and then we can pivot the regular facial interface or Quest there as well. There's our adjustability between the two. Now let's talk about padding and comfort. On the KKCOBVR, we have a nice thick back pad here. Very, very thick. Let's see if I can, there we go. That'll be a better angle for you. Nice and big, nice and thick. Got some air holes on the back there as well. It is removable leather material, and so you can easily just wipe it to clean it or remove it to clean it there as well. The strap pad, nice and thick, is also removable, so you can also clean that off or just take it off if you don't want it there. Maybe it's not serving you good. Our forehead pad is also that leather material. It is nice and thick material. It's also removable, as you can see here as well. So those are the three pads on this one, all removable, all the leather material, and secured by Velcro. They can be taken on and off. S3 Pro, leather material all around as well. This back one feels slightly different. It's actually slightly softer, and it is overall a little bit bigger than the KKCOBVR on that one. What else was I going to say here? It does come with that honeycomb padding on the back that you could put on the bottom or on the top, more likely on the bottom, to help with air circulation when you're doing more intense games. These pads, I'll just leave it like this. These pads right here also do come off, and then our forehead pad does come off as well. The whole setup for the S3 Pro, it does really cradle the head nicely, not putting too much pressure around. The only thing that I did find pressure to be on were these top things right here, but you can take those off. Okay, in terms of assembly between the two, I do have full videos of unboxing, assembly, reviews individually for each of these. You can check out the full assembly. In terms of which is easier, the Bobovr S3 is definitely easier. It's really just one part going in, and that's it. This one, you got a few different things you have to do with it, with the top straps and putting the cord through, all that kind of stuff. But overall, that one is easier to assemble. Once you have it assembled, then you're good to go. Batteries, very similar batteries as you can see in size, and they're also very similar in terms of life. They're 10,000 mAh each, both hot swappable, so you can get extra ones. They both attach pretty much in the exact same spot on the top of the back pad there. They're going to get you 3 to 4 hours of playtime, so there's not much discussion between the two there. They are very, very similar right there. Now, in terms of fit, big part right here is I've learned that head straps are very personal fits. You know, everybody's head is a little bit different, and so for some people, this is going to be more comfortable. For others, that's going to be more comfortable. I want to give you my thoughts on how they both fit on my head. So let's start with the KKCOBVR. Holy cow, I wish there was something easier to say for that. The back pad is really nice. I found that it really cradles the head. I like having the battery up top. I find that that balances things more compared to other ones that I've tried where the battery is more on the bottom, like the Anapro A3 Max. The adjustability on this one, I really like. I'd like the adjustability more than the Bobo S3, to be honest here. The one thing that I don't like about this one is I find that my head is too big. Now, you might just be thinking, oh, just loosen this up or whatever. But what I'm talking about is right here. I find that this part is too small for my head, and it's putting extra pressure on the sides right here. And that it's not overly uncomfortable, but over a period of time, if I was using this for a gaming session, I know it would be uncomfortable over time. Now that is my head, right? Some people say I do have a bigger head. So it's not going to fit that way for everybody. Now I could, and I'm kind of interested, to just peel back some of this material here and just kind of just tilt it up a little bit. See, now when I do that, all that pressure on the side of my head is gone. These are up here. There's no more pressure on the sides. And so that is something that I could do with this one if I did want it to work for me. I do like having this front strap here. I know these straps are a little bit loose right now just because of the testing, but I do like that front strap and that it can help hold that headset up instead of it being tilted down or falling down. It's that extra support there that is really nice. So overall, the overall comfort for this, because I have a big head, it doesn't work the best for me. I do have to adjust that front padding. I'm glad that it is adjustable. But if you do have if you just have an average head or smaller head, you're not going to have any issues with this here. If we move over to the Bobo, in my opinion, their back pad here is probably one of the nicest in the industry. It really cradles the head nicely. It is large, but it does a good job at cradling the back of the head. It does feel like a lot on your head compared to many other head straps because it is very bulky. So that is something to consider when you're purchasing it. Like I mentioned before, I really don't like these. Again, it must be my big head, because even when I have these extended all the way up, over a period of time when I was playing with it, I felt that they were really digging into my head and they were really just annoying. So yeah, you can remove those though, just so you know. Front pad is nice and soft. It's solid. No issues there. We do have the fan on this one. So the fan can be turned on here just by pressing that button, and then using the dial, you can turn it up or turn it down. Either way, whichever one you need to do, press it again, and it turns off. So overall, this one has more of a robust feel to it compared to the other. The S3 Pro has more robust feel, and so that is something to take into consideration when you are looking at that. All right, let's talk about price point for each. On their website, this is listed as $49.99 American. On theirs, $89.99 American, so almost half the price. If you're looking on Amazon Canada, got to talk about Canada being Canadian. This one is $70 Canadian, $69.99. This one is $140 Canadian. So half the price, literally half the price for that one. You're getting the same battery life, a little bit different of a fit, different of a feel, right? So you got to take that into consideration. No fan, but price point wise, this is obviously the better option between the two. If we talk about weight, I know I did mention weight a little bit before. We're looking at 90 grams less for this one, almost 100 grams less than that one. And I did find when I was doing exercise games, workouts with the S3 Pro, that extra weight really was noticeable. And I know people say, oh, but there's the fan on here. In my opinion, the fan doesn't do its job very well. It blew air over the top of my head and a little bit down the sides, but there was nothing on my face, because doing an exercise game, I wanted that facial interface to be against my face so there wasn't as much movement, which made the fan not be able to reach my face as much. When if I spaced it out so that the fan could reach my face, I found that doing a lot of movements and stuff, there was too much shaking of the headset. So this one doesn't have a fan, but it does have the ability to still keep you cool while you are playing on there. And that a little extra weight off of it, I find it does make a difference when you're doing high intensity games. All right, so final thoughts on each of these two. Start with this one. If you're looking for something that's not going to break the bank, it's a lot cheaper, but still gives you the same amount of playtime, same ability to have a hot swappable battery. It's adjustable in many spots. This is definitely an awesome option for you. In my opinion, if you have a smaller head. Again, those paddings on the side they were a little bit too tight on my head. One thing that I really do like about this are these side knobs right here. I think that's a fantastic feature, and I hope that they continue to use that, and maybe others start to use that as well. Those are my thoughts here on this one. For the S3 Pro, if you want one of the most comfortable back pads in the industry, like I said before, that's definitely it. It feels high quality all the way around. It does have the fan. It might work better for you than it did for me, so that is something to consider there. Battery life, same as the other one, hot swappable, so you can get multiple of them and have that continuous playtime. And this one does have these top pads compared to the top straps that this one has over here. So I hope this video will help you decide which one of these you should go with. Again, price point, adjustability. I like this one better. This one is a bit more comfortable on the back, in my opinion. Has the fan. That is something to consider as well. If you have any questions about either of those two, please let me know. I'm do my best to answer them for you. And if you want to check out the individual reviews, I'll link those in the description below. And check out all my VR accessory reviews. I'll link that playlist for you to check out. I've done other head-to-heads with each of these versus other ones as well, so you can check those ones out. Thank you for watching this one. We'll see you next time on True North VR.